Now, how about them damn Celtics?
All right, welcome in everybody to another episode of How About Them Celtics. No Jack today. Bobby and I are recording on September 1st. It is 8 p.m. and it truly is September. Training camp this month, media day this month. As of right now, nothing going on. Whole lot of EuroBasket talk coming. Today we had Kristaps Porzingis playing Neemias. We had on Twitter, first look at perhaps Jason Tatum's next signature shoe. We'll go through your emails, and then we'll do the rat list and get out of here. But big thanks to Bobby for joining me today. You can find him on Twitter at Bobby Kravitsky. You can find him on Hardwood Houdini, writing alongside Jack and I, and also on Forbes. Big man. Bobby, hello. How's it going today?
Samuel, always great to see you. Hope you had a lovely time at the confines of friendly Fenway this evening. And yeah, it is officially the off-season doldrums, but as you said, thank God for EuroBasket.
Thank God for it. I mean, the sheet would not have anything on it if there was no EuroBasket today.
We'd have to get creative.
We would be doing like hypothetical power rankings or Mount Rushmores or something.
Yeah, but maybe try to revisit some topics.
Yeah, we did get a former Celtic, current Celtic matchup over there in Europe today. Latvia kind of beat up on Portugal. Kristaps Porzingis versus Neemias Queta. And today was the first day that Kristaps looked good in this tournament, much to the chagrin of Celtics fans.
Yeah, he finally got cooking. He went into today 0 for 13 from 3, and then all of a sudden he's burying them from the logo. He also, I know he came out on fire, but a lot of his damage, related or not, right? Causation isn't correlation. Related or not, a lot of his damage came once Queta was in foul trouble and had to sit. So it wasn't like, if you're a Celtics fan, he was just torching Queta all game long. Again, a lot of when he really got in rhythm and got cooking, he came out hot, but a lot of it also occurred with Queta on the bench.
Yeah, and seeing it all go down felt like it was right in everybody's face. Like, the way it feels when like a Caleb Martin gets hot. You mentioned it, like 0 of 13 from 3 the entire tournament. He comes out today, scorched earth. He hit back-to-back threes from the logo. He was dialed in. Looked like the Porzingis that we all saw play in the 23-24 season when he was actually healthy. And for the first couple games in this tournament when he's playing with Latvia, it looked like he actually had some of the issues carry over for him. He wasn't as effective as you would have hoped going and playing against some of the better teams, but today he showed out against Portugal, which was, cool to see, I guess. Like, I personally don't have ill will towards him. I'm sure you don't. I feel like the fan base is more 50-50 than some of us are. Like, they're very upset that he got sick during the playoffs, didn't like the timing of it, blame him for being hurt all the time, and so on. But you mentioned it, Neemi, he was pretty fine in this game. He had 16 and 7, and throughout the tournament, he's looked hot and cold. He had the really good start against Czech Republic. All the NBA players on the Czech Republic team. He went out there and dominated. The last couple games were lackluster. Jokic, Şengün kind of had their way with Portugal. Turkey killed Portugal. Today was a little more effective, though. You mentioned it. Like, he did some good work against Porzingis.
Yeah, he absolutely did. And the way that Portugal, their draw for this, it's almost like Brad Stevens has some pull with EuroBasket and with FIBA because it's an ideal slate, a gauntlet, if you will, for Queta to have to run through, where he's going up against the names you mentioned, where it's Şengün, it's Jokic, it's Porzingis. I mean, this is exactly what you want as this offseason tune-up for him to potentially use as a springboard going into training camp and into the regular season, where he's the front runner to be the Celtics starting center. And I would say perhaps the most encouraging development for me, and it was apparent from the jump in the first game where he has this monster debut. He puts up at least 20 and 18, first player to do that in a EuroBasket debut since 1995. But what stood out to me, possibly above everything else, is that he was in really good shape. And that was encouraging to see how active he was at both ends of the floor, constantly moving around. He's getting out in transition, running the break. So to me, that is a very important development for Queta, that he arrives to training camp in as good a shape as possible. And it appears that's going to be the case.
Yeah, that was one of the points of emphasis he had when he spoke with Bobby Manning earlier this summer. Bobby went out to Lisbon, talked to Neemi, went to one of his camps. And when he asked him going into this season, which by the way is going to be a huge season for Nemi, he's going to have so much opportunity being the starting center. All signs would point to that, right? And that was the first thing you mentioned. He's like, I have to be in good condition. I want to be in good shape. I want to be able to produce out there when my name is called. And it's good to see that he's healthy because you mentioned knee surgery is no joke. Kind of a quicker turnaround to go play in EuroBasket compared to what it would have been if he just tried to get ready for training camp. Him being effective for Portugal, like he's hit double digits in 3 of the 4 games. He's had 7+ rebounds in 3 of the 4 games. That game against Serbia was brutal. I'm just assuming he used all of his energy trying to slow down Jokic, like just going out there and praying, trying his best. But the rest of it, he's looked okay. He's taken a 3 every single game. Hasn't made one since the opener. But he's still been
great celebration,
efficient.
though, when he did. Great celebration on the made 3.
He's a showman. Clearly.
Flair. See, he learned that from Porzingis.
Yeah. They got it. They had like a little tie-up today, too. I saw online that they got into like a scuffle.
That's after Friday, the nice hug, a little brief exchange, and that went out the door once the ball got tipped.
Yeah, Nemi said something about him being sick of the playoffs, and that was it. Gloves came off.
He was speaking. He knew exactly what Celtics fans wanted to relay to Porzingis.
Yeah, he's the official spokesman.
The conduit.
The North End in New England. But yeah, the touches look pretty good for him, which is a step in the right direction. That's one thing when it comes to Nemi that hasn't been necessarily true since he joined the Celtics. Like, a lot of his rebounding numbers were because he was missing so many shots around the rim. He was getting the second chance points and second chance opportunities off of offensive rebounds. So to see him actually putting good moves on, like he put a nice step through move on Porzingis today. Does he have a bag now? Went to the store, found himself a Gucci bag, maybe a plastic bag. They don't have those anymore.
He might have splurged and said it's time to get rid of the plastic bag. And I'll tell you, watching him go through warm-ups in particular and those pregame workouts, what you'll see way too often is that he's just so slow to get into his move. And it hasn't been the case nearly as much over EuroBasket. So it's another sign of a player who I think what gets lost in the shuffle with Queta is I do believe that he has a pretty good basketball IQ and can make adjustments rather quickly. And so even things, because this is still someone with not a ton of professional experience. And so even things like, I think there were moments when he was playing more in the beginning of the season with Porzingis still out, where you saw him start to make strides when it came to not abandoning his assignment to go pursue blocking a shot that he was unlikely to get to. And now his guy is scoring. And so you started to see improvements on that front, for example. And there was a little bit of regression in there, but just the ability to turn the corner was encouraging. And so I'm curious to see what type of progress happens as he just flat out throughout the course of the season, as long as he's healthy, is getting these large chunks of playing time.
Yeah, it's funny. Jack and I talked about this on the last show, and it kind of came across as all he has to do is not be the absolute worst out there, and we'll all be happy with him. Like I said, if we just don't notice him, it's probably a good thing. But then Jack countered, and he was like, well, actually, like if the team's going to succeed and really be overachievers as a group, he's going to have to be a net positive. Like he's going to have to impact the game, and we've seen him be able to do that a little bit in EuroBasket. Hasn't had a positive plus-minus since the first game. Hasn't had a plus-minus within single digits of being positive.
But even keep in mind, with all due respect, you look at the talent on Portugal.
Yes.
So that is very much a team stat right there. And you look at some of the opponents they've gone up against, like Serbia is loaded. So
Turkey,
it's not
loaded.
The most indicative. Yeah, they're a powerhouse.
Would never have guessed going. Didn't know they just pulled Shane Larkin out of the hat.
I know the Shane Larkin one was a very unexpected, but he's a captain over there right now. You know, during the season, so he has definitely made a name for himself over there.
All sorts of former Celtics going over there. I guess we can quickly do, because we haven't done it together yet, a Nemi preview for the season. Maybe like a couple minutes on it.
Yeah.
If you had to predict, how much of a leap do you think he takes this year? Because I think throughout the 2 seasons in Boston, even though he has not become by any means an everyday caliber player where you can trust him to be disciplined under the basket or to have good touch at the rim, he has improved. Like, he played more games last season than he had in his 3 prior NBA seasons combined. He's clearly gaining the trust of Mazzulla, and I'm sure Porzingis' absence had something to do with that. Is there a world where he's actually like a pleasant surprise for all of us?
So I want to start with, I just think there's no way not to notice a starting center where that player is invisible during his minutes. So with Queta, you look at the things that are understood, the foul trouble, you want him to be reliable around the rim. But even if most of his points are coming off dunks and he's not getting a ton of jump hooks and shots of that nature, let alone how much are they going to dump the ball into him in the low post with his back to the basket and let him go to work and show off that Gucci bag he just bought this summer.
You hope not.
But like that. Yeah. So that purchase, that might be more to show off right now during the summer than when it actually comes time to work. So we'll see on that front. But again, if his efficiency around the rim is largely coming off dunks and he's not taking that many jump hooks, shots of that nature, and so he's so on that front, maybe ideally some progress is made, I can live with that. And then defensively, protect the rim. Don't be a liability out there. Don't get into foul trouble. Don't make the stupid mistakes like ill-advised pursuits of blocking shots that you're probably not going to get to. So more than anything for me with Queta, play smart and then slot him into a role that allows him to succeed. I think that it's possible we come out of this season saying, wow, what a year by Neemi, and he looks like he can continue to be their starting center moving forward. I think it's more likely that the center who's starting for the Celtics 2 years from now is not on this roster.
Could be a draft pick. Could be a guy going to college this year. You never know.
You never know.
As far as Neemi goes, though, like you kind of nail it on the head. I think a lot of the positives will be low usage offensive moments where it's like, can you catch and finish? That's what they need him to do. If he's going to excel as the starting center, he has to be able to be efficient in those scenarios. If he's not, you're going to feel his presence in a bad way. Defensively, one like sneaky positive is last year we saw flashes of him being able to guard the perimeter. Wasn't consistent. Let's call a spade a spade. It wasn't consistent, but there were, particularly against Golden State, like he had a possession or two, he was switched on to Steph Curry, and he did okay. Like, it was a talking point post-game where players were at the podium impressed with what they had seen from him. I'm not saying that is the end-all, be-all for him defensively. I'm not even sure that Mazzulla will lean heavily into switching everything with Queta. You might see a lot of drop coverage this year. But if he's able to prove that he can do that more consistently, that's going to earn him a lot more of a NBA career window, whether it's here or somewhere else as well.
Yeah, and 2 points I'll make. One, piggybacking off that, Sam, is if he's going to play as much as we all expect, then they might have to mix in a healthy dose of drop coverage just to pace him. At that size, it takes so much energy to play any other pick and roll style that even if he can do the other stuff, and that's very valuable, it still might be that the primary way that he defends that is in drop, just to help him get through the course of a game, especially because we aren't sure about how they manage that center rotation beyond Queta and Garza and what it looks like. Like I'm very excited for the possibility of Chris Boucher at the 5, and it's this fast group that is really attacking offensively, and can that be a net positive? But the bulk of the minutes we understand are going to go to Queta and Garza, and so I could see a lot of drop coverage for Queta to help pace him through the course of a game and a season. And then offensively, something else I want to tout from him is, I don't want to say underrated, because I think we could kind of apply that to everything for someone who's not gotten a ton of minutes to this point, but
right, yeah.
His passing is probably better than people realize. Especially, he seems most comfortable out of that low block when he can see even what's going on the opposite wing. So you can draw up actions where it's inside out basketball and he's finding someone for a 3 off of movement like a screen. The other area is he does have some chops when it comes to getting the ball as he's rolling to the rim. And he's not Luke Cornett, who can manipulate that defender zoning too with his eyes to free up who he really wants to get the ball to. but he doesn't turn it over either. He's not just blindly firing it, and that guy wasn't open, but too bad, it's hot potato, and it's going to the corner no matter what. It's like a predetermined decision. So I think Queta has some ability there, and you would hope that with the reps he's about to get, that he improves as the season goes on.
Yeah, and if he was able to add some of the Cornet decision-making from last year, like that was going to the preseason, the obvious thing. Like first game in Abu Dhabi, we all saw him. We were like, whoa, look at this. He's like feeding guys crazy. And sure enough, Cornet has this great season, earns himself double-digit millions of dollars with the Spurs now. If Queta can do that, he's going to be a really great connector on the Celtics team. But we're just going to have to wait and see. It would be lovely if he's passing the ball. The problem is there have been several times he gets the offensive rebound. He turns into Tristan Thompson. He's going to have to shake that off a little bit too.
Yeah, there's going to be some growing pains, and that is understood.
All right, so moving on. Smooth transition. We do have our first
Transitions are overrated.
Transitions are overrated. We love walking the ball up the floor. We do have
We're Dennis Schroedering it.
We are. We're not letting the shot clock start. We've got our first look at the Tatum 4s, which everybody cares so much about, but it is September. And these shoes come straight out of NBA 2K, which Sneaky gets like really good at early access to things, like probably can go and look at what the NBA Cup court is going to be this year if you're into that. Maybe you can find the City Edition jerseys on there. Maybe there's that. But these are them. Looks like they have a black base, white curvy stripe designs with a red, I don't know, ellipse oval on the base inside. They look kind of nice. I don't know if these are my favorite. I really do enjoy the 3s. I've been a fan of them, have a pair, wear them all the time. These remind me of the 2s, which I didn't love. You don't have to have a strong take, but your thoughts.
I wouldn't say I have a strong take. I don't love them. I like the 3s. Those are my favorites. I think that's the common take. When it comes to these, and I'll also stamp that Tatum doesn't want an inaccurate render of his sneaker in the video game. So I do trust that this is accurate and what it's going to look like. And it makes sense as sort of the evolution of the sneaker. And when it comes to these ones, there's just kind of like the wavy, wacky pattern of it reminds me a little bit of like 90s sneakers. Like when you see Shaq's Reeboks, there's a little bit of that to these. So I think they're going to look better when you see like the full thing as opposed to zoomed in on the sneakers. Because there's a part of me that sees it right now in the video game and is like, what are those? Like, I don't love them, but they're not the worst thing either.
They look like you might see them at like JCPenney in the clearance section.
Yeah, like Marshall's definitely a place to go get those.
Marshall's a fine establishment, by the way.
I love Marshall's. It used to be a great place to get jerseys back in the day.
Bob's stores also great. They closed them, or at least the one near me. I think they might have closed all of Bob's clothing stores.
I will fact check this and get back to you.
Okay.
I don't believe I've ever stepped foot in a Bob stores.
Really? I feel like you're going to fact check it, by the way. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I'm going to
request.
I'm going to hit up the group chat that contains my parents.
Okay.
And we'll see.
All right. I remember they used to sponsor the Red Sox back in the day.
I have been to the Jordan's Furniture because they have the IMAX theater there. So that's a
They have an IMAX. Oh, they have it up near you. Our Jordan's has like a water like fountain show. They do. That's what we have.
Oh, see? They're bringing something to every state.
They sure are. We can skip the emails. Say Jack and I will do on a separate video. We can do the rat list though, Bobby. If you have anything you'd like to complain about, anything that may have upset you this week, anything that you can anti-rat list stuff, anything that might have made your day one of these days, feel free.
Okay, I'll give a rat list to, I don't know what specifically what we're going to go with here for a subject line, a topic on it, but the way that moving in and out of apartments is structured, it's got to be better than everyone is out on the same day. So it's like, you want someone to be out before you move in, but they don't have to be out until the first. And that's when you're going in. So there's either like this awkward, do you have to move your stuff twice? Do you have somewhere to go? Or are you just accepting that they're going to move out the same day you're coming in and that's going to work out? And then how clean does your landlord have it ready for you? So my rat list to that would be the process of moving into a new apartment, I suppose. Because the way the trains are operating, it's got to be more friendly to the tenants than that.
Did you have to move? You didn't move. This is the same window behind you.
We have a new establishment.
Oh, you do? You did move.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Well, so because of this whole thing.
Did you move today?
No. Because of this whole thing, I have it set up so that I can move in next weekend.
That makes sense.
Yes. Luckily, I was able to work out that way. But if it didn't, then it's like, then I would be moving in today, the same day that the previous tenant is moving out. And that's a horrible process.
Well, I'm sure that's what Jack had to do, because Jack is not on the show today because he moved.
Right. So the question there is, did the previous tenant stay through the 31st and move out today? Which is their right, but also just a horrible setup.
Is staying through like until today, like the reclining the seat on the plane? Is that the seat recliner
yes,
moving?
I think it's equal where like it's equal in the form of it's your prerogative. You can do this, but it kind of sucks that you did it.
You're kind of screwing the person that's
but at the same time
behind you.
The reclining is like way more of a I'm indulging in luxury. People who stay through and then move out on the first might just have nowhere else to go but wherever they're about to go to, and they can't get in there early either.
It is unbelievable that there's just all this moving happening up in Boston today.
Very well. I think this is universal, that the common for leases to start on September 1st. No?
That's just you. That's a you guys thing.
This is a glass shattering moment to me. How do you even know that? Like, who are you to speak on behalf of other states besides Rhode Island?
Well, Kaylin has lived in other states. That's not how it is.
That's true.
Jack was the one that told me this, by the way. That was like, this is only a Boston thing. Because he was telling me how he was worried about the U-Haul like a month and a half ago when I was still living at home. And I was like, why are you worried about the U-Haul? He's like, you don't understand. Like, up here, everybody moves on the same day.
This weekend
which is crazy.
You got people moving in for college. You got
a billion colleges.
You got trucks that get caught on Stero Drive because they can't fit under the bridge.
Can you imagine getting your U-Haul stuck on the Stero and you have to tell U-Haul?
Oh, yeah, that'd be devastating. That's a call that no one wants to make. Or if, like, you're behind the U-Haul and they don't realize it's too big and they get on there, and so you already know that they're not going to make it. They're going to get stuck.
Yeah, you can't turn around. You're stuck, too.
No, you're watching a horror scene play out in slow motion.
Oof. Well, good luck moving next week.
So what's the common move-in date this time of year in Rhode Island?
Just whenever. Yeah, just whenever you're... Like, I moved in on the 17th. Just random day.
But, I mean, anyone, as long as they have a vacant place they're moving into can move in whenever. But do you know what's the most popular time that people in Rhode Island move in between, like, summer and fall?
I mean, I would guess there is a little bit of a, like, college university bump. Like, especially in Providence, you have Brown, Providence College, Rhode Island College, like, all in here. So there probably was a lot of moving today / like later in last month, but I don't think there is like September 1st is move-in day. Like that's a Boston thing that people are all moving that day.
Today I learned.
I will rat list my section of the Red Sox game today. Led Fenway and people just getting up, just going to hot dog, beers, like. We were in the first inning. My dad and I had to stay. First of all, we were sitting in right field. So my dad and I are sitting there. We have to look left to home plate. The entire section to our left. Getting up, sitting down, It's dangerous. They hit a foul ball at you. You could be cooked. You get hit with that foul ball.
Speaking of planes, you need the neck pillow when you go and sit in a seat like that.
No, it wasn't bad. That's not why I said it. I just said it because everybody, even if they weren't in a row, was just in the fucking way. If they were getting up, sitting down.
Oh, I'm talking about the vision thing where you said I have to keep looking this way and then that way.
Yeah, no. I have to turn, obviously I have to angle to look at home plate. Like the Fenway seats are just put to look at the outfield,
Brutal.
which everybody just wants to look at Roman Anthony. Roman Anthony, by the way, just getting a king's welcome. Standing ovation. He came to the plate with bases loaded. Struck out. It always happens. Everybody stands up. He's not going to get a hit. It's just how it goes.
That's like the chanting MVP for Tatum at the free throw line. He's going 1 out of 2.
You see that sucker step up for a technical free throw, you know that's rolling around the rim and hitting the hardwood. Not hitting the
Find someone else. Go to the bullpen.
Yes. We can wrap there. It's just about 8:30. We'll let you go, Bobby. Thank you very much for coming to hang out today. Plug anything you would like.
My pleasure. Always happy to come on. You can check out, as Sam said, my work over at Forbes, including had a recent take on the debate between who starts between Simons and Pritchard. Spoiler, I think no matter how you slice it, the picture paints a pretty clear illustration of which one of those two the Celtics should be starting, and my prediction is will be starting, but we'll see what people feel when they read it and what ultimately happens come opening night. And you can also check me out at Hardwood Houdini, of course, along with Sam and Jack, and feeding my Twitter addiction over at Bobby Kravitsky.
Well, good thing J.D. Davison's not here, because then you would have had a third guy to analyze in your debate for starting point.
He would have got a very quick H2. A brief little blurb on our beloved JD. But shout out to him. He quickly landed on his feet in Houston.
Credit to him. Thank you guys very much for listening and watching. Make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe. New content on the channel every single day, even if Jack and I are busy. Exhibit A, right here. Full pods drop Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday game recaps up the morning after each game, and other videos are on the channel in between to keep you up to date with all things Celtics. You can find Jack and I on Spotify and Apple too. All pods and recaps are there, so if you just want the audio versions, go ahead, follow. They will go right to your feed. Leave a 5-star review. We'd appreciate that very, very much. You can email us, hbtcpod@gmail.com. Since we didn't do them today, probably will record them on Tuesday. Get them in. We got nothing to talk about. hbtcpod@gmail.com.
EuroBasket.
Our socials are at How About Them C's for Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Facebook's the name of the pod. All streams are there. They're on YouTube. They're on Twitter. Jack's Twitter's JacksMoneNBA. Bobby's Twitter's are at Bobby Kravitsky, and mine's at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us.
Tic-tac-toe.